Hi there, I'm Sonal Mehrotra Kapoor and this is 5 Live. On the program today, we continue to keep our focus on the biggest issue North India faces. It's air pollution. It's the air emergency that we are under. Now, Delhi's battle with pollution now seems like a never-ending struggle. If you live in the capital, the air you breathe is one of the biggest threats. Just breathing here is a threat to your life. Today, Delhi's air quality hit alarming levels once again. Now, according to the Central Pollution Control Board, the AQI stands at 312.5. That's the very poor category. But look at what the Swiss-based IQ Air recorded this morning. A staggering 727. That's deep into hazardous. That's not a small difference. That's two realities, one city, two readings. Meanwhile, government attempted to fix the crisis, including cloud seeding, which has gone nowhere. There also was no artificial rain that came out of it, no visible improvement in air quality as well. And it's not just Delhi that's gasping for air, right? Neighboring Noida and Gurugram are also now blanketed in smog, trapped under the same toxic airs. For years, the blame has swung between stubble burning, vehicular emissions, one state blaming the other. But could the problem be more fundamental? Where am I going with this? Is Delhi's geography itself, its low-lying, bowl-like topography that traps pollutants, is that the real culprit here? So today, let's break that on the program. What's the real reason for Delhi's dirty air? And what will it actually take to clear the sky? Joining me now is Abhijit Yadav, the co-founder at upscprep.com. All right, with me is Abhijit Yadav, like I said, co-founder for upscprep.com. Abhijit, you are saying that everything we knew about the air pollution reasons in the national capital, starting with farm fires, going to industrial pollution, then coming to vehicular pollutions, then saying, oh, weather, it's cold, that's why wind movement is not so much, moisture is not so much. You're saying all of that can be put aside because the actual reason is geographical.
So, I'll say that not all of that can be put aside. It exacerbates problems which exist because of geography. Now, geography समझने के लिए we'll have to look at the basic, this is the elevation map of India. Elevation map में आप देखोगे, Delhi is somewhere over here. To the north, we have a massive boundary, which is Himalayas. Nothing goes beyond there. To the south, we have the Vindhyas over here, and you have the Aravalli range over here. So what is happening is that there is an air pocket which is sandwiched. If there is air over here, it's not moving north, it's not going south. It has to go through. So एक problem ये हो जाती है. Now second problem comes is there is something called inversion. Now inversion में क्या होता है? In the winters in Delhi, what happens? Day में आपका surface gets heated up, we have black tops, हमारा concrete jungle बन गया है, and उसकी वजह से there is warm air. Warm air has a tendency to rise up. Warm air rises up, but at night what happens is that your land gets cooled faster. Land gets cooled, तो surrounding air also gets cooled. क्योंकि this is a property of the atmosphere that it gets heated or cooled by land more than directly from sunlight.
Okay.
Right. So what is happening is कि warm air is rising up, नीचे एक pocket of cold air रह गया है, and in this pocket of cold air.
Let's take this one.
And in this pocket of cold air, we have a lid. This lid is called a temperature inversion lid.
What does that mean?
Temperature inversion is the simple idea that as you go up in height, temperature falls. In this particular case, because there is a cold layer of air underneath, there is warm air, and then there is colder air still on top.
So you're saying that, and this area is the smog?
Just underneath this is the smog layer, which is trapped because of this warm air.
It's not going up?
It's not going up, it can't go up.
This is the sandwich. This is why all those videos which come in, that airlines which are landing in Delhi, right above the clouds, you see beautiful white blue sky. The minute you go under, you feel like you've been enveloped in smog. So that's where this is happening.
Yeah, so this layer is called the planetary boundary layer, and it changes in height. Daytime, as the surface is getting heated, so naturally this layer will be higher. somewhere around 500 to 800 meters. At night, when surface is not getting heated, it gets compressed, right? Maybe 400 meters, 500 meters. So then, because the same amount of pollutants are in half the space, you see a more exacerbated.
It's clogged.
It's more clogged.
Yeah.
Now, इसके साथ साथ एक और प्रॉब्लम आती है कि नेचुरल सी बात है यहाँ पे somebody will ask कि भाई why is this warm air not rising up?
Yeah.
Because warm air rises up. So for this you have to understand, you know, the global wind circulations. Global wind circulation में there is a simple idea कि भाई hot air rises up, cold air falls down. Around the time of October, November, December in Delhi, what is happening is that there is a massive downwelling of cold air. राइट डाउनवेलिंग ऑफ कोल्ड एयर का मतलब क्या है कि यहाँ पे जो हमारा लेयर बन रहा था, यहाँ पे कोल्ड ऊपर इसको पुश कर रहा है, बट देयर इज अनदर लेयर व्हिच इज पुशिंग डाउनवर्ड ओवर हियर.
That's the one you're talking about.
Yeah. Of the global winds descending on top of Delhi. So this air is not going anywhere because it's pressured from both sides. यहाँ से ऊपर धक्का मार रहे हैं, वहाँ से नीचे धक्का मार रहे हैं, which creates a extended period in Delhi which has just, you know, bad air quality. Now, final, you know, puzzle piece over here, ये हमारा, this is our Gangetic basin. Nothing is moving north because Himalayas. Nothing is moving south because of Vindhyas and Aravallis.
Yeah.
Over here, it is blocked. If I look at it as a 3D map, तो ऊपर भी कुछ नहीं जा रहा है because of the boundary layer, because of the capped inversion layer. Only where it can go is this.
So why isn't it going here?
Because there are no winds. Monsoon winds have gone out, and monsoon के बाद this area does not have any circulation. तो हो क्या रहा है? This block of air which is here is just here. It's not moving anywhere. Now this is where the problem gets exacerbated by कि भाई अब vehicular pollution है. Sure, it is a problem, but now it will stay here.
Yeah, but you see in this entire map, only this little round that you see, that's Delhi, right? So, but your drawing clearly says that this is an Indo-Gangetic problem.
Yeah.
So if this is happening everywhere, why are numbers only high in Delhi?
Numbers are only high in Delhi क्योंकि अब होता क्या है कि भाई यहाँ से in this region what you have is Pakistan and Thar desert, and यहाँ से जो हमारा डस्ट पार्टिकल्स हैं, वेस्टवर्ड स्लाइट विंड का प्रेशर है, तो यहाँ से ये चीज़ें यहाँ पर एक्यूमुलेट ज़्यादा हो रही है. नेचुरली द सेकंड थिंग इज दिल्ली का पॉपुलेशन डेंसिटी इज वेरी हाई. बिकॉज ऑफ दैट द vehicular pollution that accumulates in this region is more than other places. You go anywhere down the Gangetic plains, AQI will be much higher than, you know, good conditions or even acceptable conditions, even by Indian standards. Delhi obviously is the place where it is most concentrated due to emissions being high also. Emissions high एक कारण है, geography दूसरा कारण है, mix them together and you get a mess.
Okay, so you're saying the same reasons, the contributors to pollution, let's put it like that.
Yeah.
The contributors to pollution in Delhi remain the same as they would in any other metro.
True.
The geographical location makes it trap the air, which is why we are stuck in that for a longer period.
Absolutely.
But what I'm not getting an answer to is, if this is happening only in Delhi, what about the rest? Like the cities here, are they not feeling the clock? Why is Delhi
not as
feeling
much as
it the
Delhi?
most?
Because again, Delhi ka population, one of the highest in the country. Delhi has a population of roughly 20 million people. UP as a whole, UP as a whole has 200 million people, but spread out over a much larger area. So any single place, you'll not see a lot of that, you know, concentrated smog happening. Delhi के ऊपर वहाँ पे हो रहा है, and since air is not moving, Delhi के ऊपर वाला smog Delhi के ऊपर ही रह रहा है mostly. In the months of December and January, what happens is there is something called western disturbances. So western disturbances bring in rain from the Mediterranean region, and जब भी वो rain का period आता है, तो that is around the time you'll see some relief. क्योंकि वो rain की वजह से there is a movement of wind.
Got it.
Movement of wind means clearing of some of the smog, but again, because it's small periods, थोड़ा-थोड़ा कभी rain होती है, so you get small respite.
So this is the reason why things are becoming worse. You've spoken about the problem very clearly. Do you also have any solutions for us?
So solutions, I think I do not have great expertise in this. What I can share is based on what I've read. And reading में basic चीज़ ये समझ आती है कि you have to keep trying new things. Cloud seeding was something that's being tried actively. I think that's a good direction to take over here. Other than that, cutting vehicular emissions, which you know grab के अंडर हो रहा है काफ़ी कुछ. That is something industries को थोड़ा सा push out कर सकते हैं. Because again, जो हमने देखा है कि if it is emitted there, it stays there. So if I can move things out slightly, I can cut down vehicular emissions, I can cloud seed maybe, I can try 10 different things because even the best scientists don't have the answers for what will happen.
All right, cool. So that was Abhijit explaining all the reasons why Delhi is a more complicated problem. But like we said, today's program is not just about highlighting the problems, it's about fighting and getting to understand some solutions as well. So let's get to that now. All right, so talking about solutions. For years, we've heard this line, if China could clear its air, why can't India? It sounds simple, but Delhi's reality is far messier. The Beijing playbook in 2023, remember, Beijing faced the same nightmare. Thick smog, schools were closed, visibility was down to a few meters. That's when China declared a war on pollution. And what followed was one of the most ambitious clean air campaigns in the world. The Beijing Action Plan, and later its Blue Sky Policy. They didn't just ban or didn't just talk about sprinklers, they actually went to the source. Over 3,000 coal-fired boilers were shut down. Coal use in and around Beijing dropped by nearly 30%. Factories were told, upgrade or shut shop. Many moved out. Power plants were overhauled to use cleaner fuel, mostly natural gas. And public transport. That exploded. Beijing's metro network stretched to over 1,000 kilometers. Old vehicles were taken off the road. Not just odd even, remember. By 2020, 40% of the new cars sold in Beijing were electric. China didn't just clean up its energy, it built muscle in monitoring it. 1,500 air quality stations across provinces fed real-time data to the public and the authority. The air couldn't be hidden anymore, it was tracked, measured, enforced. They also planted 100 million trees around the city, built ventilation corridors, something we so badly need in Delhi as we've just understood, through urban design, wide green belts that allowed air to circulate, and they also backed it up with money. Tens of millions of dollars in regional investment. And the result? Between 2013 and 2017, Beijing's PM 2.5 levels fell by about 35%. Over a decade, that drop touched 60%. Life expectancy rose by 4.6 years, and that's not luck, that's policy, that's good implementation. So the question really before us is, can Delhi do the same? It's not one which has any simple solutions, but we'll try and understand that with our expert today. Joining me now is MD Rafi Uddin. He's the program lead at CEEW. Hi, Mr. Rafi. Thank you so much for being with us. You just heard the entire China model. I'm curious to understand from you, can there be any takeaways for India, for the entire North Indian belt from this model?
Thank you, Sonal, for having me here. I heard you say that China started its journey in 2013 with the comprehensive plan for air pollution reduction, which is true, but its journey dates all the way back to the early 2000s, when Beijing realized that solving for transportation is one of the solutions to its air pollution problem. So Beijing used to face congestion issues, for instance, and it invested significantly in expanding its public transport network. And today, what you see in Beijing is it has a bus fleet of around 25,000 buses, catering to a population similar to that of Delhi, whereas Delhi, the fleet is close to 6,000 buses. So one of the solutions lies in ramping up the bus fleet significantly, expanding our public transport modes, bus, metro, and so on, so that congestion can be reduced, vehicular pollution can be reduced. One of the reasons for this is that if you look at Delhi's own sources within Delhi's own boundaries, if you look at the pollution sources, transportation contributes to 50% of Delhi's own sources. So solving for that is probably the single most important thing to do. And coming to the other examples, for instance, Beijing also phased out coal-fired boilers, like you said. Similarly, in Delhi and in Delhi's surroundings, the medium and small scale enterprises, the boilers there, will need to be favored, like coal to gas transition needs to happen, electric boilers need to be brought in, and also air pollution control devices need to be installed on these boilers so that emissions can be regulated from that. And one of the most neglected sectors as far as air pollution is concerned is winter heating. For instance, in Delhi during peak winters, the contribution of winter biomass heating, biomass burning for heating can go all the way up to 30%. The way China tackled it is to bring in electric and gas-based heaters in and renovating households so that they move away from coal-based heating. Delhi will have to do something similar. And not to forget that Beijing's plan was an airshed level plan, which encompassed
Right.
not just the Beijing city, but also the surrounding regions. So Delhi would also need to, have an airshed level action plan in place.
Got it. Got it. But Rafi, a lot of solutions that we've spoken about, what we read from the China playbook as well, is what we've heard over the years. Bring down vehicular pollution, ensure that there are lesser, cars on the road. It will help with traffic as well. There has been odd even that's been tried out. There is now cloud seeding being tried out. There were smog towers by the previous government. We seem to be getting some of them or sort of approaching them in a way, but somehow not seeing any results really. What do you think where the lag is then?
Well, any solution to air pollution would require you to act on the emission sources. So unless you cut the emission sources, you're not going to see drastic changes in the air pollution levels. So Delhi's emission sources are also diverse, as you already pointed out. Like since you have transport, you have industries, you have road dust. So these sources require a year-round action plan. It's not just that you have fixes during winter or fixes during some other season. So you need to have year-round comprehensive action plan. And one of the factors affecting Delhi's air pollution is the fact that Delhi's air pollution not just comes from within its sources, but also from the surroundings. So a significant share comes from outside its borders, which is why cutting emissions only within the boundaries is not enough. You'll have to cut in the neighborhood also.
Got it. Rafi, I have to leave you there for the moment, but thank you so much for enlightening us. Perhaps what we are trying to say here is that we need a long-term approach to fight the air emergency that is on in North India right now. We don't need a plan which is for 4 months of the year. We don't need a plan which is only for Delhi as well. We need a plan for all of North India to look at all the pollution sources and then attack it, something that can be followed despite the fact that there might be change in governments, despite the fact that we are divided into different states which have different powers, and all of those policy issues and implementation issues as well. Okay, so on the program today, we understood the problem. We tried to look at some solutions as well. But what is the immediate thing that matters to you and me? Weekend plans. Weekend is here and we want to understand, is it going to get any easier or better for you to step out this weekend? What exactly is the pollution weather monitor telling us? Take a look.
Let's take a look at the 3 factors currently impacting or affecting the AQI in Delhi. The first and foremost is the number of active farm fires that we are tracking through satellite in Punjab, Haryana, and also in Pakistan's Punjab province. Now, while the number of active farm fires have gone down, if we compare the data from last 4-5 years, we have also noted a sudden spike in total number of satellite tracked active farm fires in past 7 days. Now, another important factor that is going to affect the AQI in Delhi is the drifting winds. Whether the speed is calm, light, moderate, fresh or strong, it will decide the quality of air people in Delhi are going to breathe. Now, here is one case study. This graph shows the correlation between the wind speed and the AQI. You see, at this point and here, the wind speed is high, and what it does is it brings down the AQI and the air quality improves. So higher the wind speed, the better air you are likely to breathe. This week, as per all the data that we have, as per all the models that we have seen, the wind speed, while is expected to remain consistent, the problem could be the wind direction, which is expected to flow towards eastward. That might end up creating a problem for the AQI. Now the next factor, and perhaps the most interesting, is the underreporting, the missing data. Now this graph is very interesting. There are three parts. This is the peak pollution hours, this is probably the noon, and this is again the evening peak pollution hours. The interesting thing about the missing pollution data is that it is mostly inactive during the peak pollution hours. What it does is, while you keep breathing a very poor quality of air, the index will still show the average of it. So the average will be the not so peak pollution hours and some part of peak pollution hours. So while it will bring the average up, the data will show that the air quality is relatively better, but the quality at ground, the quality of air that is going into your lungs is not necessarily going to be that good.